What if someone handed you the closest thing to a motog bike that you could actually ride on a track, legally? No factory contract needed. No racing license required. Just raw, insane Italian engineering wrapped in the most sophisticated electronics package ever fitted to a production motorcycle. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the 2026 Ducati Panigale V4 R. Ducati has been building championship-winning homologation specials for over 30 years now. These aren't just motorcycles, they're statements. They're built from the most exotic parts, pushed to the absolute limits of racing regulations, and designed to win. But here's what's changed in 2026. Ducati didn't just build this bike for World Superbike champions. They built it for every rider, from a complete novice on their first track day, all the way up to factory racers like Nicolo Balega. And that shift in thinking, it makes the V4R more dangerous than ever, in the best possible way. At the heart of this machine is the 998cc Desmosedici Stradella engine, and honestly, calling it an engine feels like an understatement. For 2026, Ducati has given it lighter pistons, new conrods, updated exhaust cams, and a heavier crankshaft for more inertia. The result? In full power mode with the optional Akrapovic exhaust fitted, this thing pumps out just over 235 horsepower. 235. There's decent torque low down, but once you hit 15,000 revolutions per minute, the acceleration doesn't feel like a motorcycle anymore. It feels like a cruise missile with handlebars. No matter how many gears you throw at it, it just keeps pulling, harder, faster, relentlessly. Now here's something genuinely groundbreaking. The 2026 V4R comes with a world-first Ducati Racing Gearbox. What makes it special? Neutral sits below first gear instead of between first and second. That might sound like a small detail, but on track it's a massive deal. Slotting into first gear at slow corners is now cleaner and smoother than ever. And neutral is locked out unless you operate a dedicated lever, so you'll never accidentally hit neutral mid-corner again. It's the kind of feature you'd expect on a factory race bike, not something you can actually buy. But here it is, the chassis has also been completely rethought. The V4R now runs a dual-sided swing arm and the latest front frame, both offering significantly more flex than the previous generation. Paired with top-shelf Öhlins suspension components, the result is a bike that's both incredibly stable and shockingly agile at the same time. And despite being a hardcore homologation special, it's actually not as stiff as you'd expect. Bumps, curbs, and undulations don't unsettle it. That makes it genuinely usable at real UK tracks like Donington, Alton Park, and Cadwell, not just smooth continental circuits. You also get for swing arm pivot heights and a rear ride height adjuster for serious fine-tuning. The braking system is another superpower on this bike. Ducati has fitted the latest Brembo Hypure calipers with 330mm semi-floating discs. The feel through the lever is incredible. Massive initial bite, loads of feedback, and the cornering ABS works so naturally that you barely notice it's there. You can actually carry what feels like an impossible amount of brake into corners at full lean. It even has an option to automatically apply the rear brake to help slow you down and rotate the bike into an apex. That's not a road bike feature. That's a race bike feature. On something you can buy. And then there's the electronics package, which is simply the best ever fitted to a production motorcycle. The new Ducati Vehicle Observer uses 70 sensors to monitor everything in real time. Wheelie control, traction control, cornering ABS, all dialed in to an almost supernatural level of precision. The traction control eases in without interrupting your flow. The wheelie control tames to 135 horsepower smoothly without being aggressive. Even on track at full pace, the electronics feel invisible. They're just quietly keeping you alive while you focus on going faster. Is the 2026 Ducati Panigale V4 R perfect? Pretty much. Yes. The seat is tall, the side stand is a little awkward, and it costs an absolute fortune. But none of that matters when you're out on track, and everything, the engine, the chassis, the brakes, the electronics, all comes together in perfect harmony. It's not just the best superbike Ducati has ever built. It might genuinely be the best track-focused production motorcycle ever made. The 2026 Ducati Panigale V4 are the benchmark. Full stop.